Oh, hello. Hello. Gonna be doing some sculpting in Blender today. But first, I need to make an adjustment to my Twitch streams bitrate. Okay. Let us see. Still thinks my bitrate is too high. Very interesting. Alright, well, we're just gonna stop the stream on Twitch until we figure that out, but let's get going on today's work. How's everybody doing today? Where's my pen? There it is. So I was working on this gobbo. I had posted some pictures of it. I think I posted a picture of it before I made his honker absolutely ludicrously huge. Because before, let me see if I can find the old one here. Open recent, gobbo. He had a regular kind of human nose. Well, I mean, okay, so maybe not regular human nose, but he had a big old honker. But I thought maybe it would be better to really push the nose. So I just grabbed it and moved it out, and it looks a little better. I think it lends a little bit more fantasy to this kind of character. Just want to pull the back of the neck in a bit. Oh, go the other way, please. Crap. I did this in a very dumb way, unfortunately. I attached the ears before I was happy with that. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. Alright. Do I want to continue to work on this goblin? That's the question. Let's maybe just... something like that. Let's work on the goblin for a bit. Why not? I don't need a circle. What I want is a UV sphere. I thought about giving him some hair, but I don't know what kind. I tried a mohawk and he ended up looking like a chicken. So there's that. Alright. Let's put this cursor to world origin. Put that at the cursor. Cursor to world origin. This at the cursor. There we go. I forgot to turn on symmetry. Dirt. Make it roughly the right size. His head should be really large in comparison to the rest of his body in proportion. So, he's got to be pretty stumpy. I think his legs actually pretty much have to start there. In fact, let's do ourselves a favor and try and figure this out. His head basically like that. he's a goblin, I want him to be what, maybe we'll say 4.5 heads tall. Okay, slightly over that. 3. 4. 1.5. Okay, so his torso needs to be much smaller if I want to keep it in that proportion. Alright. We gotta grab his torso, go to sculpt mode. And then I'm pretty much just gonna move it up. Till it's about in the middle. Be right about here. So we have little leggies, knee, foot. So rib cage to about here, which it is, which is good. Neck, head. Okay, so something like that. Well, actually, this should be slightly below there. Alright. Never mind my chicken scratch. Chat. It's just so I can see what I'm doing here. Sculpt mode. Let's remesh it. Maybe I'll inflate here first. Then I'll snake hook. It looks absolutely ridiculous right now, but that's okay. That is alright. I'm just trying to get a sense of where stuff's gonna go. Actually, I don't really hate that. He could have gigantic feet. Wouldn't be the worst. Hey, MVO. Looks good. I think the ribcage needs to come back down more for shorter belly area. And give him a dumpy. Okay. Let's do this. I think you're right. The ribcage is particularly squashed. So let's... Oop, first of all, let's clear the mask. Good. Needs to come in also. It's going to be very, very delicate with making those adjustments. What's up, Loki? Can most only watch, but wanted to let you know captions are up. Thank you. Muggle Part 3 is ready to go. We'll check for errors for the full video later on. Thank you very much. Caption Queen Loki. Alright, let's see. Let's bring this in. Ribcage. There's no real distinction between his ribcage and his muscles here, which kind of... Should probably add some kind of separation there. Power up, level down, and then just gently put in these serratus. I don't really care if they're anatomically lore accurate right now. I just want the suggestion of them being there. And I will flatten them in a second. smooth it out. Ribcage still looks borked. It's better having a separation there, though. Oops, also, I mean, do I need to make the pit of the arm? I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. Okay, I'm going to take MBO's advice here and continue examining this ribcage because there should be some indication of it on the back as well. I learned from a good friend of mine the other day. Kind of on the wrong brush. You would see, even though there's layers of muscle, like back strap muscles and stuff, you would still see some indication of the rib cage. I'm not lining this up correctly. I still think I need to take MVO's advice just a little bit more and bring the rib cage down. I might make them just a little less wide. Yeah, just like a tiny bit, especially if it's someone who's like, you know, yoked, someone who's absolutely jacked. Even though they have a shit ton of muscle, there'll still be just an indication of it. Like right here, there's just a very subtle indent. That's probably good. But it's just to show that the form is there. This is all kinds of absolutely broken in the back. I'm so absolutely rusty with anatomy. I haven't sculpted in 3D and aside from like basic adjustments in a very, very long time. So I am a rusty and require practice. Okay, so this, I don't really need to make him yoked. I'm going to cover him in clothes eventually, but I would like to have some indications that there's muscle back here. And give him a dumpy. Oh. Let's see, where's my dumpy brush? He is a mask gobbo, so his dumpy should be X-shaped-ish, I think. I don't know why that just feels like such a good word to describe the trunk on a gobbo. Give him a dumpy. I love it. There you go, some dumpy. Get some cake, Goblin. Get that cake on. Okay, I don't know if I want to keep his feet this big, but it kind of would be funny. I want line project. There's a way to flip the line project. Is it F? Yeah, it's F. There we go. I couldn't remember. Sculpting and modeling requires so much better anatomy knowledge than drawing. It's crazy. I learned more about anatomy. Yeah, I'm much better in 3D than I am in 2D. I don't feel like I spend enough time practicing 2D to get good. Last night trying to sculpt bones of a skeleton than I have in years of drawing. Yeah. Well, the great thing about 3D is that you get to work in the round, right? Like, it's actually the whole, all of the volumes, everything is there. Like, nothing's, you don't have to use all of that processing power in your brain to figure it out. Alright, let's give him some arms. You know what I might do? Just a bit bigger so I get the right length. Just close them out like that for now. Okay, so if I go back here, let's figure this out. So if his rib cage ends here, that means his elbow is going to be right here where his rib cage ends. Same spot. And then divide that by 1.618 in your head, be about there. And then his hands. Okay. So let's go to... I think we add a cylinder for this part. We'll just add in some cylinders. Scale, Shift Z, so I don't scale it on the Z axis. Z axis, whatever you want to call it. Just having a little sketch here helps actually quite a bit, because now I can check it against the proportion. I mean, I could check it against the 3D too, but... Scale, Shift Z, bring it down to a thickness that I think will work. Put it in position. I'm just going to go to the gizmo here so I can have an easier time moving it. In case you didn't know, you can hold tilde on your keyboard. Where's my... Normally, I have screencast keys on. Let's turn those on for everybody. There we go. Took a minute to load, but there it is. You can hold tilde, the thing above your tab button and under your escape button, to do the camera view. Change your orientation. This is now a little bit thin for my taste, so... Bottom of his rib cage. So GZZ to move it on its local axis up. And I'm just going to align it at the bottom of his rib cage here. Let's actually hide the pauldrons. Yep, that'll do for now. It's fine. Alright. Select it. Add modifier, mirror. We're going to mirror using the body as the object. I'm not going to apply it right now. It's not necessary, I don't think. And I might need to make some changes to it. Just checking something here. Okay, there we go. I was just checking my music. I thought I heard the same song twice, but maybe I'm losing my mind. Or maybe I did, and I just didn't realize it. Alright, let's see. Alright. Shift-E, ZZ. We're going to scale it along its local axis just a bit. And then scale Shift-Z to bring it in just a smidge. The gizmo is really good for sculpting mode. If I'm doing like modeling with regular stuff, I don't really use the gizmo all that much, but I might start because It's really kind of handy. Let's see this from the side. Hand hang down here. If it was perfectly straight down, I'll be about there. That's fine for kind of semi-fantasy-ish creature. Just gonna go to the eraser. Get rid of all this. Bye-bye. Alright. Let us see here. Maybe scooch this usable. Put that there. I'm just trying to block out the rest of the body right now. Oops, not the pose brush, the grab brush, please. What's happening? Spastic. There we go. Alright, Q, all transforms. Origin to geometry. All transforms, origin to geometry. All transforms, origin to geometry. Okay. Just gonna use my grab brush to generally push things into the space where I want them. I don't know, chat. Should he be like, He's got a huge head. He looks like, you know, pretty fit. So I think I should give him fairly meaty arms. Heck. Fine. This is what happens when you're not using a reference. You just gotta friggin' figure it out. I'm just making this guy as I go. I know I want... Oh, I want this deflated a bit. That's too small. You want me to give him yoked arms, Loki? Oh. Hey, A1. Hi, Vishal. Kind of looks like Clash of Clans character. It does kind of, actually, doesn't it? It looks like a mix of, like, I don't know, Dobby and a Goblin. It's like a much more human face than I think I should probably have pushed for on this type of character, but I don't know, whatever, it's fine. I ain't mad. Hello, hello. Just gonna remesh this. So inflate it along the bicep. Inflate it along the tricep. So push this in. So maybe deflate that a bit. Might need bigger deltoids if the arms are going to be equally meaty. Yes. These would need to be a little bit chonkier for sure. In fact, well, the whole back kind of needs... It needs inflating in the right spot, because right here, look at that. That's like this hollow, especially on somebody like who's got like a lot of back muscle, it's not going to be there. I'm just going to fill it in just a bit until we get some meat back there. In fact, I'm going to do that all the way to the bottom of the rib cage, because that's another thing. You would definitely get the volume of the rib cage. It's already looking better. This can be deflated though, because it straightens out. Dobby and Goblin, exactly. It's a Doblin. Or a Gobby. Yeah, one of those. One of those for sure. Okay. Let's go back to this one. So, meaty! Need to look at some dwarf reference. The proportion closely resembles a dwarf. It does. I actually had it sketched out just a minute ago. But I had settled on... Let's make this a more gobbo-ish color, shall we? I'd settled on 4 heads. 4.5 heads. So this lad's head... Let me scooch that over. This lad's head is like, what? From here to here? So just a little bit past. Here, something like that. 2.5, so we'll bup, 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 bup. What is that? Actually should take us to about here. So I've made him 4.5. Okay. There's 4. 2, 3, 4.5. Which is kind of in line with dwarf proportions. Very, very stumpy. I don't think the gobbo should be like... I feel like it's hard for goblins to get, like, friggin' jacked. Unless they're, like... Unless they're, like, special... I don't know. I'm just thinking in video game terms. Unless they're, like, uber goblins, you know what I mean? And then they're not, like... Then they're not, like, 3.5 feet tall. They're, like, 10 feet tall. Meaty! Meaty. Hey, can we get a good... Hold on, let me try and get a good ASMR meaty in there. Meaty. Oh, I feel like the Doom announcer. Okay, let's look. We may hot swap projects here too, so that I can like, look at that little dumpy. That was a good idea, MVO. I might hot swap projects so I can like get a fresh perspective on what I'm looking at. I also am going to pull up my Anatomy for Sculptors reference because the deltoid looks absolutely busted. I'm fairly I'm fairly positive that there's absolutely no way that this guy could function with his deltoid in that spot. Let me pull up my reference here, chat. Okay. Shoulder. Deltoid. Let me see it from the side, please. There it is. Is a graphics tablet important for sculpting? It makes it easier, but you can absolutely sculpt in Blender without a graphics tablet. It's just going to be a lot harder. Because there's no pressure sensitivity. Let me show you. So, I'll just grab this, I'll go into sculpting mode. I'm just going to give it some resolution so I can sculpt on it. Smooth it out a bit. Now right now I'm just using my mouse. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second here. So let's turn on X symmetry's on, good. Alright, so I'm going to go to the draw sharp brush. I'm going to make it a reasonable size, and it's at right here. You can see A1, you can see it's at half strength, right? So the mouse is always going to give me half strength. It's always going to do that. If I turn the strength up to 1, it'll give me full strength, you know, do this. And the thing is, with the mouse, you can just hit Shift F, just like you would anyway, to change the strength, so you don't have to keep going up here, but turn it right down. So this is with the mouse. So it's just a little bit slower because you have to you only get one particular pressure, right? So if you wanna soften it out, you'll have to go back in and use your smooth brush to do it manually. But if you have a tablet, put the strength back up to 0.5. Okay. Something like that. If I have a tablet, it's got this little icon here, which allows me to control pressure sensitivity. So I can go in and make very particular kind of, you know. So it just gives me a lot more control faster. So, do you need one? Absolutely not. Is it a lot easier and faster if you have one? Absolutely. But you really don't need, like, you don't need a fancy one. You could literally, the only ones I would advise against, and I've said this in previous videos on my channel, is the ones that are the size of, like, your phone. You know what I mean? Like, you want it to be at least big enough for you to be able to use your arm to draw on, not just your wrist, if that makes sense. But you can get, like, you can get those for $60, I think. I did a video on that, and it was like, I think you could get a really decently sized one that would work for everything you need for $60. I know $60 is a lot of money to some people, but if you're really interested in it and it's something you want, it's, compared to everything else, it's pretty dang affordable. So I hope that answers your question. Is it important for sculpting? I'm convinced you can sculpt with just a mouse. It's just, it's going to be a lot slower and less precise. All right. Let's see. What I am gonna do though is I'm going to use a tool that I got from Blender Market. It's called Easy Silhouette right here, and it's just gonna show me the silhouette of my thing because I want to read the silhouette to make it interesting. Right now I'm just blocking out the figure, so it's not really that that big of a deal. But when I start putting armor on and stuff, then I want to make sure I'm breaking up that silhouette so it looks pretty interesting. But the armor can go off. In fact, let me rename that before I lose it in a pile of other things. Okay. If anybody ever hops in and gets Easy Silhouette from Blender Market, it can occasionally, like if you're switching between material view modes and stuff like that, it can get stuck and then just not shut itself off, but it's really easy to fix. You just have to go into the viewport shading settings and turn everything back. So it's friggin' awesome. Basically, ZBrush has this thing built in, right? In the top left corner, you can always see your silhouette you're working on. Blender doesn't. So having a button that just changes the see, it changes these settings. Outline black, it changes the viewport theme to white, and if I shut it off, it's all back to normal. See? So it's just really nice to have that there. I have it on my quick menu. I had it on my quick menu. I guess I didn't save that in my defaults, but so far I'm a beginner at sculpting, but lately I'm thinking about buying a graphics tablet. If you're doing, like, generally speaking, if you're doing digital art, it's a good idea to have a graphics tablet. Like, it's, if you're going to be doing it, even if you're doing it as a hobby and you can afford it, just for the sake of practice, it's going to be a worthwhile investment, I think. But that's provisional. It's provisional in that, A, you can afford it. Like, you know, don't get it. Don't get the most expensive bloody thing. You really don't need it. You could just get a flat, just as long as it's not, you know, only a couple inches wide. But you can learn all of the things, like, you can learn all of the things you need to learn from sculpting without a tablet. If that makes sense. Like, you can just go to, hold on, let me say this. Let's create another thing here. I'm gonna put my pen down. It's gonna smooth this out. Okay. So, I'm using my mouse now. And, like, just go around on a sphere. Like, just going around on a sphere. And trying different things. I'm gonna learn what all of the brushes and stuff do and what kind of effects I can achieve with them, and I... Like, that's honestly a huge part of what learning to sculpt digitally is just like, how do I achieve an effect that I want, right? I want this to look like this. How do I do that? And you can do that with all of these different brushes. With a mouse, and it's no problem. Koyon Inspiroi 2L. I think this tablet is very good. Let me take a peek. I'm a little mad at Twitch. It told me to set up some bitrate settings, and then it was completely wrong. Koyon Inspiroi L. Is that what you said? Koyon Inspiroi L? Inspiroi 2L. There we go. See it. Yeah, that's huge. It's got tons of room. Like, really all you need is pen pressure and room to use, like, room to use your mouse. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. It's exactly what you need. Okay. Excuse me. I think, maybe... Am I happy with this? Just scooch him up so he's, like, on the ground. That's better. It literally makes no difference, chat, but in my brain it's better. You know what I'm saying? Looks like he's on the ground now. I guess that's just OCD. I kind of want to leave his feet huge. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it, chat. I'm leaving his feet huge. You know what they say about goblins with big feet? Huge honkers. Look at that. Can you imagine the bogeys that would come out of there? Whoa. He's thinking about it. He doesn't like it. Alright. Let's, just color pick from here. Alt Q, Control X, Alt Q, Control. Whoops, not Control Z. Dang it. Not Control C either. Control X. Wow, my fingers really don't want to work, chat. They refuse right now. Control X. Alt Q, Control X. Alright, this torso, I'm going to go back to my brush now. Now I'll practice with you in sculpting. Yes! Do it! Perfect! Alright, let's, just gonna bring the resolution on the torso down because I want to make some changes to it. It's really hard. This is a piece of advice I'm sure some of you know, maybe some of you don't, but it's really hard to make changes, like big changes, on a high resolution, on higher resolutions, because you just have to move so much geometry. But on lower resolutions, it becomes a lot simpler because you're not moving as many pieces. Right now, I'm just masking off his deltoid so that I can pull the, I can pull his pecs in a little bit tighter. Right here. It's too big. And I'm literally just barely. Also, I want to make sure that this is front faces only, so I'm not grabbing anything weird in the back. Because it looks like here, see? When I grab this, it was looking like it's doing something there. Which I really don't want. But, right. Switching my sharp brush. I think suggestion is enough for this fella. I don't need to go into like crazy detail. But I am sculpting, Cosmic Afro. Hello and welcome. Yeah, I'm trying to get back into the practice of sculpting because it has been a minute and I am rusty as heck. And as we all know very well, heck is incredibly rusty. Alright, let's mask this off again. I'm going to hit M, go to my mask brush. You also, while you're in sculpting mode, I don't know if everybody knows this, but while you're in sculpting mode, you can actually just hold A to bring up this mask edit pie menu, which is like, when I found that out, it actually blew my mind. I was like, oh, you mean I don't have to go up here and fiddle around here, and if I want to smooth it 7 times, I have to mask, smooth, mask, smooth, mask, smooth. No, I can literally just go here, sharpen, smooth, 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 smooth. So good. You said Twitch, what is this? Well, Scott, Twitch requires a different bitrate, and the video I watched that helped me set it up lied. So that's why I'm here. But thanks for coming and saying hi. I used your YouTube Paint for tutorial for a project, so thank you for that. Oh, you're really welcome. YouTube Paint is like one of my favorite things in Blender, and YouTube Pumar, the guy who made it, is awesome. Just the nicest guy. Plus, it's like, it's insanely powerful. I've gotten many, many requests to do a more, like, in-depth... Yeah, Scott, take that, see? I've gotten a couple of requests to make a more in-depth, YouTube Paint tutorial. If I can finish my thought, brain. Okay, I'm gonna make this smaller. This, I feel like... So one of the things that I'm really not comfortable with yet, wow, words, is I used to be better at this, but is just the way muscles are overlapping. I guess inserting is the anatomical term. Because they have an origin and an insertion, right? So they start somewhere and then they go somewhere. And the way that they kind of do that, like particularly in the back, this is why it's good to have reference. And I'll check mine in just a minute. Somehow this escaped being colored. Control X. Another thing, just in case anybody's wondering how I'm coloring this while I'm sculpting, you can use, this is just vertex paint, so I'll explain what that means. Right now, I'm not in any special mode. I'm just in solid viewport shading mode, right up here. I have a matte cap. I'm just using the regular studio thing. But if your object has enough resolution, say for example the torso, it doesn't even need that much resolution. It just won't look good unless it has some. But you can go into vertex paint right here. I'm just holding tab to bring up the mode menu. Go into vertex paint. You can set your color. Let's make them blue. I'm gonna make them a lighter blue. Something like this. And then go to paint and set vertex colors. This acts like a fill. And then you can just have a color. And then because your matte cap, like your lighting sphere, has certain qualities to it, you'll get to see it, what it looks like with essentially a basic form of lighting. So that's how you can get in there. And obviously this guy, I've painted his lips a little red and his nose a little red just to give him some blood, but yeah. I do need to check, chat. I do need to check muscle structures I'm less familiar with. Which would be the forearm. Give me a second, I'm just checking my reference. That is a butt. That is a bunda, that is not an arm. Sculpting is something I dabbled in, and making something that looks right is a lot more difficult than it seems. Yeah, it really is. That's the unfortunate thing about being human, is that we're so used to seeing other humans that we can tell that something looks off, but without the practice, we don't know what it is or how to fix it. But I mean, yeah. Just as a side note, and this is not a plug or anything, but one of the best sculptors, in my opinion, in the world is literally in my chat right now. That's not a joke. I'm dead serious. My favorite sculptor is in the chat right now. Why can I not find the forearm muscles? We don't see the references. No. I'm looking at it on my phone. I could actually... Well, actually, no, I really couldn't. I can't look through this reference on YouTube or Twitch because it has nudity in it. It's anatomy for sculptors. Okay, whatever. It's fine. I'll check it after. I'll just fake it for right now. Chat, I imagine looking at this gobbo not moving is not very exciting, so... Alright. So, I'm gonna select the forearm. Yeah. I'm sure I could get reasonable forearm references, but it's fine. It's fine for now. I'm just gonna hit Control J and join these three together. They all have a mirror modifier, so if only one of these had a mirror modifier before I join them, the mirror modifier would shut off. So what you can do is either go to each of them and apply it. I'm just gonna do that. I have convert to mesh on my quick favorites, so I'm just gonna go Q mesh, Q mesh. And for those who are wondering, let's go to object, convert, mesh. This just applies all of the modifiers. It's exactly the same as visual geometry to mesh. Fake it till you make it. Well, you made it. Okay, so now that the modifiers are all applied, it's really easy to go in. Let's turn on X symmetry. And I'm just going to remesh it all together. 180,000 faces is well more than I need. Almost perfect, actually. Probably actually I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Because, again, I'm making some big changes. So I want it low resolution. I don't want to be fiddling around with hyper details right now. I can isolate it just so nothing else gets in the way by hitting /. Okay, tricep. I'm going to go to my grab brush, make it small. And I'm going to pull. The numbers of time I crashed Blender after meshing accidentally too high. Yup. I actually just recently, because I've been practicing sculpting a lot recently, just hitting R and using my tablet. This is actually, A1, this is the spot where you probably want to use your mouse. Because it's not, just hitting R and using your tablet, this is not always very precise. So either using your mouse or going to the remesh options up here and typing in a value you know to be safe is probably better. Also, I save kind of all the friggin' time. Because I hate losing work. I have autosave set up. Oops. I have my autosave set up to be like It's very frequent, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. I want to deflate that just a bit, just a bit. Tricep goes, wraps around the side of the arm as well, I think. This is why practice is good, because right now in my head I have questions about how things work, and if I practice and look at my reference, I will just remember. How about that? Sounds crazy. This needs some more resolution. What is going on? I had something weird selected. Also, this is funny. This is what I did to give the suggestion of the collarbone, but I'm pretty sure the acromion process is like not there. Let me check my reference chat. Checking reference. Show me the shoulder. Okay, acromion process goes where? You know what? It actually wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, chat. I am gonna smooth it out. It's kind of like here. Yep. Something like that. Now, these two joined together, but gobble 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 gobble. Alright, I'm gonna save. Like I said, I save all the friggin' time. And I'm still really, really bad at jumping to higher levels of detail than I really ought to. It's like this body is still completely, like, borked. It's not at all accurate. It might be good enough for me to throw some, like, clothes on if I put the armor on and whatever. Where's the armor? Oh, I forgot to move it up. Nope. Right, like, if I start covering this, I mean, ignoring the arms, but the torso, like, this is probably enough detail for me to get away with and convince, like, convincingly. The proportions are roughly accurate. Yeah, you know. But when I'm trying to do something that actually has a bunch of detail, I'm still really bad. Like, this face, honestly probably has more faces than it needs. It's at 1.5 million. And it's still got these. You can see, these are essentially tool marks, right? Can you guys see that? Is it encoding properly on YouTube? Just a little tiny differences here. You can basically see where it's not super smooth. And if I turn the subdivision level down, I get less geometry, it's gonna be way easier to smooth that out. But let's see. I want to block out the hand here. But first, I think I want to deflate his arms a little bit. Just a bit. 'Cause the wrist, what the heck is going on here? The wrist kind of flattens out towards the palm. Okay, it's on the top. Here. This, I'm just gonna put this bump here. I don't think it's anatomically correct, but this is gonna tell me where the wrist bone connects to the palm on the one side. I will sculpt it out later. If I do that, I can see pretty much instantly that it's still too thick. So I'm going to thin it out. Just using my grab brush very, very carefully here. Till I get it to roughly the shape I want. Close. And if I wanted to make like larger changes, I would just mask it and go from there. But this is fine for now. Let's just remesh. Use this to inflate, smooth, inflate, remesh. Easy. Same thing on the other side. Front faces only, okay. Am I losing my mind? Or is this mirroring in a weird spot? Oh no, it's mirroring in the wrong spot. It's like, why is this behaving so strangely? All transforms. Origin to geometry. Now it's in the center. Now, I'll sculpt on both sides, which is what I want. But, since I've sculpted on one and it wasn't working on the other, I need to go to symmetrize, negative x to x, which is what I want. Same thing here. Let's do this. Origin to geometry, all transforms. Origin to geometry. Let's apply this. All transforms, origin to geometry, and then object mode, sculpt, go to symmetrize. Did not work. All right. Let's do that. Add a mirror modifier. This. This is borked, so I'm gonna delete it. Go here. Make sure I'm in wireframe so I get everything. Delete faces. Delete faces. There we go. Add modifier mirror. Using the body. There we go. Alright. Do we want to give him some fingies yet? Not yet. Make sure that this is... Let's shut this off. And give it some more resolution. More. Just going to grab this. I'm just going to do a test to make sure we're good. We are. I think I'm going to snake hook out the thumb. Like that. Oh, here's an important question, chat. Do goblins have 4 fingers and a thumb or 3 fingers and a thumb? This is a critical question. This next move is critical. That is the question. Oh. Oh no. That's horrifying to look at. Who knows? Who knows how many to make? Blech. His fingers are way too big. It's fine. Alright, let's do this here. Probably gonna have to scale down the entire hand. This can come out. 6 fingers. I don't know that they'll fit, man. Let's see. Remesh. I'm gonna snake hook out another fingy. That's way too big. Remesh. Inflate. Remesh. 7, I think, is snake hook. Yep. There we go. I'm a fan of yours. Thanks to you, I discovered the ad on YouTube Paint, and I'm really happy to not use Substance Painter. Thank you, H-Toy Vinci? Toy Vinci? Thanks. Yeah, YouTube Paint's insane, dude. Insane! It's so good. Let's see. What am I thinking here? I think I'll give him regular hands, because I think I can actually get away with pulling out another one here. It's really not the best, but I feel like Scott might be out there judging me silently. I don't think he is, but oh, these are not the right hands for this man. Okay. Whoopsies. Try and nudge these back into being smaller. This one's way too big. Nice, thanks for the lurk. I'd build fingers with separate meshes, might save you some headache. Yeah, that's what I did for the like dark elf I showed you yesterday, and it worked out pretty well. I just wanted to test it out. But I think you're right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use lasso trim. This is probably gonna make my computer very angry, chat. Very, very angry. So just be aware that when you do this, oh. Never mind. It's totally fine. I guess it's low poly enough that it really didn't mind all that much. So let's just do this. There we go. Remesh. Smooth. Sometimes you need to exit the mode and come back into it for it to work. But it made new geometry when it flattened that. That's why the tips of his fingers here are white. Like where his finger should insert is white. Because, trimming... What are you doing? Why is this so pointy? That's better. Fine. Trimming just deletes the geometry that's there, so... Just go to, texture paint. I'm gonna pick the color of his body. Control X to fill, and there we go, we're good. It's close enough in terms of color. Let's get it. Nope. Control X. Ooh, it's so vibrant. Let's bring it down. Saturation down. Yeah. Ooh, oh, oh, itchy back, chat. Whoa. Ah, ooh, that's better. All right. So I'm going to take Scott's advice here. I'm going to just bring in a You know what I should do? I should just build a like a hand base mesh. That would probably save me a lot of time. Let's bring in a cylinder. Scale ZZ. Scale Shift Z so it becomes skinnier. Oops. Okay, so here's the thing, chat. When you're fiddling around in Blender, I'm sure you've had this happen before, where see how, like, if I look straight on, I have rotated this thing in a really weird way, right? So if I try to scale it in the Z direction, it's gonna get all wonky. Just in case you didn't know this, you can hit, like, if I hit S then Z to scale it in the Z direction, just hitting Z will do it in the global Z direction, so it'll stretch out in a weird way. But if I hit S and then, S and then Z twice, it'll actually scale it along the local axis. So you don't have to go up here and change it from transform, like, orientations from global to local. Just double tap the axis you want to change it on, and it'll do it locally. Which is really, really handy. Really handy. That was not meant to be making a finger pun at all. Scale, Shift Z, Z, ZZ, whatever, however you say that letter. We say Z where I'm from. But it doesn't really matter. It's just fun to say. Z, 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 Z. Let's see. Okay, right now my brain is trying to think, where does the knuckles start? I know for a fact that the knuckles start halfway, roughly, around the hand. So that tells me this should be in a little bit further. I'm going to Shift D and move it this way. And then I'm going to hold Shift and press R twice to repeat that. And then I'll move these into position. Another thing, I don't know if you know about Blender, but anything you do, you can Shift R to do again. Shift R. Shift R just means repeat the last command. You know what, I'm actually curious, because this would be a little bit like a ZBrush thing. I'm gonna go to Draw Sharp. Let's maybe go to one with more resolution here. Go here. If I hit Shift R, no. Does not work in sculpt mode. So it's not like history in ZBrush at all, but oh. Right, let's save quickly. Go to the fingies. Scooch this one down. This one, scale ZZ. I just want it to be a little bit longer. Scale ZZ. Yes, even for inset scale rotation. Exactly. Any operation. What's up, Stylu? Been a minute. Also, just in case you don't know, I imagine almost everybody here does, but when you're trying to make changes in Blender, the closer you are to the axis of transformation, the origin, basically, when you make the transformation, the larger an effect it's going to have. So if I want to scale this very precisely, I don't want my mouse to be anywhere near the origin. I want it to be like over here. Then I can very, very, very slowly transform it. So in my case, I just want to make it a little bit longer because it should be longer than my index finger. So I'm going to move my mouse over here, hit S, ZZ, and then just very slightly longer. G, ZZ to move it down. And then I can use this to position it. Whoops. Come on. So another thing, what I'm trying to do here, I don't have a lot of practice in 3D with hands, but I've got plenty of practice drawing hands. And one of the things I know is that there is never, like, there's not really any flat part to a hand. I'll show you what I mean. Right now I'm looking at this kind of shape, right? Let's just draw it over here. This is looking at where the fingers insert. Let's just do it like this. So one finger here, one finger here, one finger here, pinky here. This never happens. This kind of thing never happens. what happens is this. Like this. It may not be that pronounced, but this is what needs to be present there. Hands are strange meat tubes, slightly different scales. It's exactly right. Strange meat tubes that have no flat surfaces on them, pretty much whatsoever. I mean, granted, there are some planar elements, like the back of your hand is planar and stuff, but when you're dealing with fingers and the way that they arrange themselves, it's always along a curve. Something is curved. So basically, I'm just going to try and keep that in mind. Does anybody remember how to rotate Control Plus? No. How do I rotate my screen? View. Viewpoint. Navigation. What am I looking for? Roll? Doesn't matter. I'll figure it out later. Let's grab this guy. Grab my Gizmo. GZZ. Slide it along there. I'm going to rotate it just a little bit this way. Where is it sitting in the hand? Okay, it needs to come this way. I'm also mindful of the fact that like if you look at the back of your hand, chat, you'll notice that where your knuckles are is like way below the actual skin that stretches between your fingers. It's not in that exact same spot. So there's a lot of different, there's a lot of space between those. I'm trying to be mindful of that. Now these are kind of colossal sausage fingers. They're actually not that bad. It's a just interesting fact that, like, well, I don't know if it's a fact for everybody, but they seem to almost have the same diameter when they come out of the knuckle. Scale Z. Scale Shift Z. Oops, Scale Shift ZZ. Why don't you do it for one finger first and then duplicate, because you're going to sculpt it, right? Yeah. I could do that. That would probably be smart. But for right now, at this exact second, I'm not really doing a process so much as figuring out how I should approach inserting fingers on the hand. Because like I said, I'm not super experienced with doing hands in 3D. So another thing I know is that fingers are practically never in a line either. If I look at my fingers, they're all just slightly oriented differently. Probably Stylu, once I've figured out how I like to approach putting fingers in a hand accurately, then that's exactly what I would do. Okay. So I'm just checking my hand to see how this, to see this angle here, because I don't know if I want my hand to be, hand's literally the hardest thing to sculpt. I don't know if I want, like a palm, index finger doesn't seem to be always in a straight line from the knuckle, right? It seems to want to do this. If I draw my fingy, goes down like that, and then you got your thumb. So right now this is probably fine. I just want to make sure I leave enough room between my fingies too. So scale Shift ZZ, scale ZZ. There we go. Scale Shift ZZ. Bring it down. Same thing here. Scale Shift ZZ. Whoopsies. Scale Shift ZZ. There we go. Especially the part between the fingers. Yeah, the webbing on the hand is really strange. That was one of the things that helped me learning to draw hands, is realizing that, like, If you look at the back of your hand, there's literally webbing between your fingers that goes way higher up on the other side. So your fingers look much longer from the back than they do from the palm side. Which is interesting. It was not something I would have thought to consider before trying to learn how to draw them. Scooch that in. Okay, and all I'm going to do quickly is just check that. Does it look like a hand? It does. Thumb looks way too long. Just going to smush it up. Probably going to deflate it also. Deflate just a bit. All right, let's see. So, I'm trying to use my brain here, chat. Thinking. So I think if I remember correctly, you got this wrist structure here. Then you've got your phalanges, which lead up to your knuckles. Right? Just drew this as boxes for now. Which lead up to your knuckles. Let me just divide this. Okay, knuckle, knuckle, knuckle. Okay, if I would take my own advice, always follows a curve. Might be a very slight curve, but it's a curve. Okay. Knuckle, 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 knuckle. And then, this distance here, the first joint is half that distance. More or less. Like if you measure that, and then measure it against the length from your wrist to your knuckle, it's more or less half. So I'm trying to scale my fingers appropriately. Right now they look a bit short, but I can check it really easily by just doing that. It's actually not terrible from the wrist. Eventually with practice, this kind of stuff would just become automatic, but because I'm not used to scaling hands again in 3D, when sculpting, it's a little tricky. I gotta take my time. It's not terrible, actually. We'll go with that. I can always adjust it after. It's fine. Okay, Shift E, ZZ, down, scale, ZZ. I'm gonna get it till it's about. I'm doing basically the golden mean, right? So probably around here. Golden ratio. Nope. See how fingies. Okay, I'm noticing a problem already. That's better. Feels better. I feel like, though, these are too long for the hand. I feel like they very much are, so I'm gonna try just whoopsies. I'm gonna try truncating them just a little bit. See if stumpier fingers feel better. Which I feel like right now, I think they will. All right. Now we're going to take Stylu's advice. Yeah, they were long as heck. Super long. How did you get so long? Sorry, that was a deep cut. That was a deep cut. At least one person in the chat will know what I was talking about. Whoopsies. Dumb. I'm dumb. I'm dumb, chat. Don't hurt me, I'm dumb. Alright. Let's get it over. Good, okay. Save. If I look at this end on, what's happening here? This is not in the right spot. Neither is this. Let's rotate it this way. And up just a smidge. Ah! That was the wrong part of the gizmo to be touching. Okay, you know what? Oh! Go. There we go. Holy God, hands are hard. Chat. Wowzers. Anatomy's hard, really. I mean, just really, really hard. Because we see it all the time. You really can't, like, can't mess it up. Alright, that's looking pretty good. That is looking quite good, I think. So, object has non-uniform scale, sculpting may be unpredictable. Q, all transforms, origin to geometry. Q, all transforms, Q, origin to geometry. Da 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 da. Alright. I'll mirror this after the fact. Let's remesh it. Same thing here. Sculpt. Around. Somewhere around there. I don't really care if they're uniform. I will remesh them all to a uniform resolution later. I'm going to save so I don't have to do that again. Because that was painful. That was pain, chat. Alright. I'm very, very, very carefully going to go over these. I really don't want to join them together yet, because if I remesh them together, they will join in the middle, which I very much desperately want to avoid. So I will just hit Alt-Q and tap something to switch between them quickly. Alt-Q. Alt-Q, and smooth them out a bit. I'm not too concerned about these gaps right now because I can use them as knuckle markers. Alt-Q. Alt-Q. Let's go to the smooth brush, crank it up. Maybe just smooth out the fingies. Wrong one. Here we go. And you can tell the pinky has more resolution than the other ones because it didn't smooth as much. This is why it's better to have... Let's see, what are we at here? 72,000, 12, 9, and 8. So this is why this one didn't smooth very much, because I gave it too much resolution. If I turn it down and I smooth it, it goes super fast, which is exactly what I want. Okay, let's save. How am I feeling about this hand? It's okay. Luckily, I can still make adjustments to it fairly easily. Because this doesn't feel like it's rotated quite correctly. That's much better. Actually, you can come just a little bit further. Right. Isn't it going to take ages if you sculpt it one by one? Yes. Yes, it will. But here's the thing. I really need practice. And it's not on a timeline, so... So I'm going to do 4 of them. I can always, like... Obviously, if I were on a timeline, that would not be what I want to do. But because I need to practice fingers, it's fine to do 4 of them. And then if I really want to, I can just pick the best one and duplicate it. I mean, probably, realistically, I probably will just sculpt, you know, I'll sculpt 4 of them and then take the best one and duplicate that one. Because that would make the most sense. But as for why, I need practice, that's why. Let's give it a little bit more resolution here. I'm going to grab my snake hook. Bring it up to a knuckle. Snake hook up to a knuckle. Yep. If it wasn't for practice, that would kind of be wasting your client's time, and that's no bueno. That's no bueno. No bueno, chat. That would be no bueno. No bueno bar for you. Bueno bar. Holy crap, I actually have one of those somewhere. I just remembered, chat. Bro, I discovered that I am very bad at sculpting. Same! A1, look, everything is hard. You are not alone there at all. Not at all. You are not alone. Art things are hard. They just are. Anybody who ever thought that art was easy never made a serious attempt at doing it. Because they never learned how hard it actually is to do something good. How much practice it takes. He's so talented. It's like, no, they put in a lot of practice. Know what I'm saying? And odds are, you're not, you know, technically speaking, bad at sculpting. You probably just don't have a lot of practice. Interesting thing I do know about fingies, chat. The flat part of them, the only part that in my mind is even remotely flat, is the top. Fingies have this tendency to do this. Let me get my annotation. Top of the fingy, knuckle. Top of the fingy, knuckle. Top of the fingy. But on the bottom, they round. A little bit flat, round. A little bit flat, round. Flat, round. This I know. So, that's what I'm doing. Just gonna take my scrape brush and flatten between on the tops. Sorry, I'm not worried about it being perfectly accurate right now, chat. It will never be perfectly accurate, but just trying to learn and apply what I know. And what I know is that the backs of the fingies are often much, much flatter than the front, the bottoms. Alt Q, make sure it's selected. Remesh, Alt Q, remesh, Alt Q, Control R, Alt Q, Control R. There we go. Okay. Let me check my silhouette again. Okay, thumb needs work. This thumb needs to be roughly the same thickness as these fingers. I mean, given that it's a goblin, I could fudge it and say that that's not how goblins work, but I mean, practice. I need practice, right? So let's try and do it correctly. I'm just making tiny, tiny adjustments in here to get it to where I want it. Okay, it's actually a bit stumpy now, so I'm gonna go to mask, lasso mask, not line mask, lasso mask. I'm gonna select everything that isn't that. Hold on, I gotta look at my hand for a reference here. Okay, that's not terrible. I'm gonna snake hook the rest of this out, though. Oopsies. Look pretty nice, thanks. Alright, let's clear the mask. Give the hand a little bit more resolution here. That's fine. The fingers feel very rotated, like off from the hand. Let me just look at my hand here. Yeah, no, they're not in line, so I need to rotate them some. Just gonna use my gizmo. Because right now what I'm seeing is one of the curves I actually don't want is like this. Right? Well, I mean, technically, bad example. The alignment of the bone here goes like this. What is the mask? So masking, let me change back here. Masking, let's just go to the body here. If I go into sculpt mode and I hit M on the keyboard. Masking allows you to draw, let's make sure the strength is set full. It allows you to draw an area that will not be affected. So let's say I use my grab brush and I've drawn this mask. If I pull forward, everything that's masked won't be affected. See that? I clear the mask. So it's a way of protecting or control, like protecting geometry from being affected, or for controlling controlling which geometry is affected. So let's say I do this. I draw this little swirly pattern. Okay. I can flip the mask, I can invert it, and now everything except that will be protected. So if I go over here and inflate this, see? So it's just it's a way of controlling what gets affected and what doesn't. In fact, you'll find that masks are used in all kinds of 2D, like any type of image or like visual generation software all has masks. And they all do exactly the same thing. They just tell you whether or not something will be affected by something else. Does that answer your question? I hope so. Let's go here and go to my gizmo. Okay, that feels better. It's not far enough over though. What is going on? Oh, proportional editing's on. Pinky first. Pinky on the very outside. Good. And know the pinky should bend in a little bit. This is a game changer. Absolutely. Masks are insane. I remember the first time I explained to somebody when I was in university studying architecture, the first time I explained to somebody what a multiply mask, like a multiply layer mode did in Photoshop, and they figured out, like, they finally understood it, and I watched their mind expand. It was friggin' hilarious. It's really, really good. Masks are the bomb. For sure. Alright. Dad! Are you still in a meeting? It's not actually my dad, but he'll know what I'm talking about if he's here. I need your advices. Chat, I wasn't kidding. Like, I'm legitimately not kidding. One of my, like, the best sculptors in the world is... Well, I don't know about in the world, okay? I'm a little bit of a fan, Monolith, but... An unbelievably gifted, practiced, insane character and creature designer, sculptor is here, and I need your advice. Look at my fingies. Okay, well, I mean, there's a couple things I can fix very easily, but also, like, don't worry about it if you're in a meeting, obviously. Obviously. Alt Q to change what I'm working on. Knuckle. Game changer indeed, my friend. Indeed. It's me now, and I'm imagining how many things I can do with this mask. Yes, the mask is... The mask is awesome. Okay, chat, and basically what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at the fingers I have made, and I'm asking myself, is this the best I can manage right now with my understanding of how fingers work? And if it is, I'll step away from them for a bit and then come back and look at them. Fingies bones. Fingies bones. Let's, maybe I'm just gonna do this here. Pull the fingy out. I'm watching this while drawing a map for my upcoming tabletop game. Are you playing D&D? Or like a tabletop RPG? Sweet. Do love me some D&D. A good hand. Thanks. It's getting there. Fabula Ultima. I've never heard of Fabula Ultima. Let me look it up. Let me look. Let me look at my eyeballs. Fabula Ultima. Let's see. Oh, nice. Inspired by JRPGs? That's awesome. Cosmic Afro, that looks really cool. I'm gonna take a look at it in a minute. I'll take a little bit of a deeper dive after the stream. Masks can be extremely useful, and there are many features I don't fully understand yet. For example, in the brush settings of Sculpt and Paint modes, there are options for add, multiply, dodge, burn. Alright, I'll show you what this is. Give me a second. Let me load up a different program. I'll load up Clip Studio Paint. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for the recommendation. It looks neat. I love, like, Final Fantasy, you know, JRPG classic stuff, so that'd be a really fun setting to dig into. Let me go to OBS, turn on CSP, shut Blender off. There we go. You can see Clip Studio Paint. Great. Okay. Let me move it from there to here. Okay. So, let's say, for example, chat, what you were talking about in the brush settings of Sculpt and Paint modes, there are options like add, multiply, dodge, and burn. Those are blend modes. Those are called blend modes. Blend. Let me just shut off the opacity here. Blend modes. And I'll give you an example of what they do. Because I remember chat very, very well when I was starting out, like learning, you know, to do anything in digital software. That, okay, maybe I should pick a color. Let's go with green. Something nice. That all of that stuff is really confusing. It's not intuitive what it does. Okay? So, check this out though. I'm going to create a new layer. This is a regular layer. And I'm going to use an airbrush. I'm going to press this button. Don't worry about what this is. I'll explain it in a minute. Actually, I'll just explain it right now. What this is doing, this is clipping. It's a different type of mask. Clipping just means use this shape to limit where I can draw. So if I leave this clip off and I go to draw, let me pick a different color in. Just pick a darker, different color. Actually, let's just do this with a regular brush. Okay. Notice that if I draw here, this is exactly the color I've picked, right? But if I... Oh, get over there. There we go. But if I change... You can't see this, but I'm changing it to the multiply blend mode. See what happens? You see the difference? Hold on. Let me see if I can get my display capture going here. There we go. Okay, now you'll actually be able to see what I'm doing. So up here, this is a normal mode. And the color just goes on top of it. Right? So I'm just drawing with this color on top of it. The color's kind of mixed. So what actually happened is it took the value and it multiplied it. It literally took the numerical value of that color and it multiplied it with the green. So multiply, basically what that means is that multiply is going to give you, it's really, really good for shading. Because if I set this to multiply, actually, let me delete that layer. Create a new layer. I'm going to select this exact color. Okay, so I've got the exact same color. I'm not used to doing this with my keyboard. Jeez. And then on this layer, I'll just clip it to the layer below. I've got the exact same color, but I set it to multiply. Watch what happens. Here, I'll shut the clip off so it's not so confusing. But do you see what happens? It's multiplying the value of those two colors together. That's all that multiply does, so it's perfect for adding shadows. Basically, multiply means it's only going to make it darker. So blend modes, if I do add, it's only going to add their values together. See what I mean? So it's just color getting black. Yeah, you definitely, like, it's better to use multiply with a color than it is to use black. You know, you really don't want to shade with black unless, like, in very, very particular circumstances. In fact, if I had something green like this, I'd probably want to shade it with something warm in the shadows. Right. Core shadow would probably be here somewhere. Erase it. But you get the picture. This isn't in Krita, but it functions exactly the same in Krita. Blend modes work exactly the same way. It's just a different, like, the only difference is that there's a different layout. Let's turn Blender back on here. Does that make sense? I hope that helps. Basically, what it does is blend modes change the way that colors and values interact with each other. All right. Continue along with these fingies. A 0.3 green color, assuming RGB values, with a 0.9 black green color. The resulting color will be dark because the values are multiplied together. Yeah. But I'm not sure that I'm not certain that it multiplies only the value. It may also multiply the hue. I don't think so. It wouldn't multiply the hue. Might multiply saturation though. If you're curious, you can just look up on Google or whatever, just look up blend modes and what they do. What are the different types of blend modes? And then it'll explain it. Sometimes it'll be explained in a kind of very technical fashion, which isn't always the best, but sometimes you'll get somebody who knows how to explain it better than I do. Which is good, because it's hard to explain. Basically, they just change the way that, you know, colors interact with each other. You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. Yeah, I remember, like, trying to learn about clipping masks and gradient masks, basically masking and all of that stuff, and it's, I did not find it very intuitive. But, I mean, you fiddle around with them long enough, you kind of figure out what they do. And I had to use blend modes a lot for my degree, so, like, had to use them quite a bit. Alright, I'm gonna save. I'm gonna grab these, go into texture paint mode, and just Control X, Alt Q, Control X. That was the wrong button. Control X, texture paint mode, Control X, Alt Q, Control X, Alt Q, Control X. Control X is to fill, Alt Q is to switch between thingies. Alright. I think now this is mirrored, so I'm going to apply it. I'm going to join these together. There's no modifiers, so I should be good to remesh it without any issues. I'm not. Let's actually do this. Let's go to the front, edit mode, wireframe, delete faces. That way we only have one to contend with. Solid. Okay. All transforms origin to geometry. I think that was way... Yeah, that was way too much. This is why sometimes when you're doing remeshing, it's good to just use your mouse. Or then I can kind of control it. Yeah, 220 is fine. I'm actually doing Dio Brando's head, and I'm still learning. Is that any good? Of course that's good. Of course that's good, man. Super good. Doesn't matter what, like, it really doesn't matter what your project is, right? As long as you're practicing and your brain's kind of at least partially engaged in what you're doing, you're gonna be fine. I'm gonna turn my smooth brush down quite a bit. Alright, so the webbing on the inside, this is actually good, because this has already given me kind of a leg up. I think the hand's a little big, so I might have to shave back some of this here. But I'm not really super ashamed of it or anything, which is good. I do need to trim this, though. There's not really... This is kind of a straight shot between this and this. Like if I see this line here, right here, that isn't really a thing if I move around. At least not on most people's hands, I don't think. So I'm gonna go in and, like, if you look at your hand, your index finger kind of follows a straight line until you get the flesh from the thumb. So I'm gonna knock that back till I get what I want it looking like here. It's a bit better. Back of the hand feels really fat. Pull that in. That's better. That's better. Give it a big old smooth. Coming up on 2 hours. I'm gonna keep going for a bit. Keep going for a bit, why not? Can't tell if that feels too small or not. I mean, if his feet are that big, his hands should probably be a little bit bigger. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Origin to geometry. Gizmo. Yeah, I want his hands to be a bit bigger. The back of his palms are friggin' huge. Don't forget to stretch your legs and drink water. Oh! Smart. Time to stand up. Stretch! I got my water right here. Thank you for the reminder, MBO. Oh! I needed that, thank you. Stretch a little bit. Ah! Okay. Okay. I love water. I too love water. Water is good. All right. Let's maybe go here. Excuse me. How do I want to do this? Maybe we'll do it with a cube. I'm going to put my pen down because I'm going into edit mode now. Excuse me. Scale Y. Not sure what just happened there. Scale Y. 3, delete that face. 2, edge extrude. Down to like there. Add modifier, solidify. Go to my edge data. Version 4, shoot smooth. Maybe we bring the edge data down a little bit. Interesting. I'm not sure why it's behaving that way. Stop subdividing it. Shading got all weird on that. Let's pause that for a second. Go to edit mode. I'm just going to grab this, move it up. Am I going the right way? Should I go in? Water is perfect. It's true. If I were smart, which, by the way, chat, I'm not, I would make sure this was contiguous. This one. Just so that when I remesh it, it's kind of sealed up. That'll do. My edge data, you know what, I'm gonna split that off actually. L. P to split selection. This, I'm gonna go to edge data. What's going on here? Yeah, something like that. Scale in the X direction, scale in the Z direction, something like that. Here. All transforms, origin to geometry, sculpt mode. I think I really needed to remesh that, honestly. I can just scooch it wherever I want. Dope beats. You like the tunes? Nice. Thank you. Gonna grab a drink, I'll be back. My drink pretty much exploded for no reason. So I think I'm gonna go wash my hands. Okay. Oh. Oh, the chair is stuck. Why are you stuck, chair? Did it get on my glove? Oh. Rip chat. Wait, okay, I think we're good actually. I think we're good. It's fine. Goblin is small, therefore objects are large. Okay, that I'm very sad that my drink decided to do that. It's fine. It's fine, chat. Oh. Should we? Rip. Yep. Ripperino. Move that bunda up a little bit. Alrighty. Save. I'll flatten those out in a minute. Yep. That's the extent of what's in my brain right now, chat. My apologies. Let's pick a brown color. Save. Okay. This I think is fine for now. We can add a mirror modifier. Like that. I think I'm probably okay to join these now. I'm not. because I forgot one critical thing when I was blocking this out. And that is that if this poor little goblin were to stand like this, his knees would pop out of his... They would pop out of their sockets. Which reminds me, I should probably put some knees in there. Muscles on the inside, connecting to the knee. A little bit more inflation. Yep. That's fine for now. The problem, though, is that I don't think there's a living creature. Well, no, there are definitely living creatures that do that. Never mind. I'm just using the pose brush here, chat, in case you're wondering what's happening. I'm just using the pose brush to... That, like, yeah. You'll notice it totally busted it, but wasn't actually that bad. Let's go here. Easy fix. What it does do is give me a lot more life. Have I sculpted anything before? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Lots of things. I'm just really, really, really out of practice. Really, really out of practice. Which one of these is higher? Crap, I can't remember. Chat, which ankle joint is higher? I think it's the outside one, pretty sure. Bring the viewport up a little bit so I can see what's going on. This is interesting. We're getting into like miniature proportions here, which is okay. It's all right. Some hammies. Bring the quads up. Alright, I want to make sure that I get the feet done correctly. So I'm going to go to my line project. Flatten them out. Roll out a remesh. Yeah, it looks alright. So, a couple of things for me to note for myself. I need to check this muscle's anatomy. I know there's a big muscle that comes across the elbow here, like here. Comes from, let me see. It's like along the inside. Yeah, like this. Let me see. We're looking at it this way. Comes over the top a little bit. This. And there's this guy here. Just want indications that they're there. So that when I put clothes on it, it doesn't look super weird. I'm really tempted to, like, make his head even bigger. I think his head should be bigger, actually. Chat, what do you think? Should be bigger? Actually, Celsius proportion a lot better when his head is much larger. It's gonna bring him to what? 1, 2, like 3.5? 3.5 heads tall? I kinda like that. I'll save it. I can always scale it back down. I need to fix this part of his head right here. Grab brush is gonna be the easiest to do that with. Smooth, because there's so many polygons, grabbing it is going to be much easier than smoothing it and stuff. So I think pulling out the nose made it a little bit more fun, like really yoinking on the proportions. Because before it was just like a oddly large human nose. I think making the head so that he's 3.5 heads tall is much better. Much more believable. In fact, let's go here. Split those off. Just gonna make them silver. X. There we go. Okay, before I add a lot of resolution on the feet, I just want to make sure that, because I didn't do this with the body very well, like I mentioned before, chat, that I'm bad at jumping to higher levels of detail than I need. This body's still kind of borked, frankly. Like, it's really not very good. Let me turn this up a little bit. Kind of hate that. Let's see, world. Yeah, world's fine for now. It's really not the best torso ever. But I think maybe when I merge it with this one. Let's actually, you know what, here. I'm gonna go to sculpt mode. I'm gonna bring it down. I just want to smooth it out. He doesn't really need... Like, I don't really need muscular details on him. Maybe on the neck, because that might poke out of whatever I'm gonna dress him with. But... I feel like I need to maybe deal with the arms a little bit, but... Okay. Maybe a little bit more flesh in the front here. A little bit here. Definitely more here. I still feel like the hands might need more work. I'm gonna go here. I'm just gonna make them easy to edit by giving them a lower resolution. The hands are super fat compared to everything else. So I'm just gonna squish them. I'm just gonna squish the palm in. I need to make it smaller. So I'm gonna go to my mask brush, make sure it's cranked all the way. Mask all of that. Invert the mask. No, not invert the mask. Just trying to make the hand the right size here, chat. Okay, I feel like that's okay. I'm gonna clear the mask. Smooth it out. Save. Alright. Let's take a look at our dude. Let's turn the armor back on. Okay. This here, rest on his leg. I think I'm okay to, I'm gonna duplicate that. And just keep it as a reference, so legs, base. Let's hide that. And then legs working. And then I'm going to join these together. Control J. Okay. Let's apply this first. Apply. Control J. Apply this first also. Mesh. There we go. Control J. I'm going to go to remesh and I'm going to sample what the body's at so that the whole thing gets remeshed at the same sample count. I'm just going to very gently go in and smooth this out. Okay, I kind of want to mask this off. Same with up here. He has a big face. Yeah. I made his face really, really big. Because it dropped his proportions from 4.5 heads tall to 3.5, which I think actually sells it better. In my opinion. Looks more like goblin-y to me. Just masking this off. He does have a big face, that's true. He has a big old face. True. How come I looking at here? This. Oh. Durr. How the heck I forgot about that, but I did, chap. I did. That'll do. Let's change our mat cap. See what we're getting here. Okay, I'm not hating it. Don't hate it. What should he wear now? That is the question, chat. What is the story of our goblin? Anybody got any ideas for our goblin story? First of all, we know he's gonna need a belt. You gotta have something to hold on to this. Right? Have a belt. Boots. I think I kind of want him to have floppy boots. You know what I mean? Like this. Boots like that. What else, though? Maybe we could model a knife going over his chest. Well, I feel like he's... I don't know. He's kind of roguish in direction right now. Which I'm not sure I love. Excuse me. I'm not sure I love that, chat. Alright, well, let's clear this off. Let's go to the eraser. Annotate. Eraser. Right. Maybe what we can do then... Helmet. That would be interesting. Okay. Helmet might be good. Let me do this. Front. Just gonna do this over here. Annotate. Okay, so... Dagger. Helmet. Belt. Dagger on bandolier, I think is what I would like. Helmet. Mm-hmm. He's got this kind of he's got this pouch thing. So I'm wondering if maybe I don't know, whatever. I can always delete the pouch. It's fine. Or move it. Really doesn't matter. I think I'm going to extract some pants on him now. Let's go to world. Themes, fine. Not kept. Okay. Select this. I'm going to go into sculpt mode. Front orthographic view. I'm going to box mask. If I can find it. Box mask. There we go. I'm going to box mask to probably there. Okay. Box mask luckily goes all the way through. I'm going to where is it? I'm going to hit Q to do mask extract. You can find this in mask extract. Let's see, mask extract. I don't want it as a solid because I'm going to use something that I have to remesh it into a much simpler thing. I'm going to use quad remesher. This is not in Blender by default, by the way, not even remotely. It's a paid add-on, but you know, if somebody ever asked me what's the best single paid add-on for Blender, I don't even think they'd be able to finish asking the question before I said quad remesher. It's made by the same person who made Z-Remesher and ZBrush. Look at that. Incredible. Now I can, with very little geometry, add a solidify modifier to that. I will unhide it. Bring it out a little bit. Control 4 to bring it 4 levels of subdivision. Now I got a mesh of pants that I can sculpt on. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's bring the levels down. That's totally fine. Convert it to a mesh. Vertex paint. Let's give him this same color. And pants. Control X. Maybe a bit lighter. Control X. That'll do. You can do the same sort of thing. There's a couple of things I could do here for like a bandolier. One option I could use is to just go and create a cylinder. Go into edit mode, delete the top and bottom faces, scale it so it's like that. I'm gonna go to my gizmo. Let's rotate it. Scale it up a little bit. I'm gonna go into sculpt mode, use my grab brush. I'm just gonna make a big broad movements into position. Get it roughly into position first. Grab point by point. So this is one way, one option for making a bandolier. This is one way to do it. This is probably the most sensible way to do it, honestly, because Blender unfortunately doesn't have contour brushes like ZBrush does. In ZBrush you can use a brush and hold, I can't remember what it is, control maybe or something like that, and it will literally just wrap itself around whatever your mesh is. Saves you so much time. Blender does not have this, unfortunately. But, you know, it's alright. It's free. What can you do? However, another option, if you have Retopo Flow, which is another paid plugin that I have, it does have a contour brush kind of thing. So I can sometimes switch into Retopo Flow. Do that. But I just wanted to show you that this is one way you could very easily go in and just make a strap. It's easy, it's time consuming, it's not fast. Another option would be to just paint it in and mask extract it like I did before. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's do this here. Back to sculpt mode. G, I'm just gonna pull it out. 3, I can inflate it. Select this, all transforms, origin to geometry. G. There we go. It's got absolutely borked here somehow. Smooth it out. There we go. That's why I was having so much difficulty. It was not scaled correctly. Okay. Go to my smooth brush. I'm just going to turn the strength way down, go over this a little bit. Tap it a few times. Then, add a modifier, solidify, bring it out a bit, subdivision surface, bring it out a little bit more. I'm gonna go to edge data. I'm gonna put the inner to probably about 0.4 or 5. There we go. We're going to go to sculpt mode, push and pull it into position. Pull this in. Same thing here. Let's hide these so we can see what I'm doing. And basically just going around and making sure it looks okay. That I'm consistent depth into the skin if possible. And this strap may actually not rest like that. Like it may make more sense to smooth it out like this. But we'll have it go down a little bit right now. Just make their thickness is roughly uniform. One thing I can do also is just put this on like 120. I'm going to remesh it again. I don't want X symmetry on. Because I want to be able to smooth it out without completely and utterly destroying it. So maybe I put it at 120. Without X symmetry, please. 120. There we go. Now when I smooth it, I got a little bit of like geometry to actually average. All right. Add modifier, solidify, control 3, multi-res, new, control 3, there we go. Subdivision edge data, I'm going to crank it up a little bit just to get a nice tighter edge, something like that. See how much nicer and even that is once I had some geometry to work with. I could have done that in sculpt mode too, didn't need to use quad remesher, it's fine. Go to sculpt mode here. I'm just gonna make some tiny adjustments. Does that look? Looks okay. Let's bring this down. This might be fine for my needs because I'm not looking to 3D print this thing. If I was, I would need to make sure there was no holes here. I'd have to fill it up. But I'm not really looking to do that, so it doesn't really matter. It's probably a good practice anyway, but... I'm just gonna smooth it. Till I'm happy. Like that. Aside from this little bit here, I think I'm good. Save. Let's go texture paint mode. Or vertex paint, I should say. Control X. A little bit brighter. Actually, go to the pants. There we go. Let's delete that original band. What do we got here? Oh, his hair. Bye. Can hide the leg's base. Save. What are we doing here? He, for some reason, has a material applied to him. Interesting. Let's remove it. There's some gold in his earring, too. The bag looks like a medical thing. Yeah, it kind of does, actually. I'm trying to decide, like, I'm trying to basically give him a class, right? What the hell does he do? I don't really know. Alright, let's see. Let's scooch this over. Whoopsies. There we go. Scale it down. Scale X. Nope, scale Y. Scale X. Okay, I need to use my mouse for modeling. Or make 2 loop cuts this way. I'm just modeling a, right now I'm just modeling a belt kind of thing. It's fine. Maybe sharpen it up a little bit. A shifty. Just a bit. Okay. I think maybe what might be fun to do, let's hide this now. Can delete that. Let's go Alt H. Leg space. I can delete that now. Okay, Alt H. Is there anything else weird? No, I'm gonna save. Hide that. Go to select. We're going to clear mask. A box mask again. This time from about there. Got my mask brush. I'm going to just get rid of the knee. Maybe paint in some more mask here. No. Which I think that's fine. Just come under the knee here. You have a story for this goblin. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Whoa. What's happening here? Goblin quit stealing and became a survivor. Okay. That's not a terrible story at all. Oh my god. I think we should first give him a name. Yes, name the gobbo! Name that gobbo! Alright, first of all, I am noticing a problem here. I need to go to front. Do we have a mirror modifier in here? No, we don't. That's the problem. Okay. Go to edit here. Delete faces there. I only want to work on one of these at once. Origin to geometry. Okay. EZ. Scale. ES. EZ. Okay. Put these down, put that there. What should we name him though? This is the question. This is the question. Alright, let's do that. Save. Probably we'll probably actually let's shut these off. Hide that. Delete the original one. Alt H. And what I want to do is it's really not very straight, but whatever, it's fine. P selection, good. Oh dear, I think I just made Blender very, very angry. Whoopsies! Might crash. We might go down! Stream won't go down, but Blender might. Oh my goodness! That was no good. Alright. Let's turn off Solidify and Subdivisions. Let's just quickly kind of go through here and get rid of what I don't want. It's fine. All right, let's turn these back on. The heck is this? I just want some padding for his little footsies. Give me like, I don't know, 32. Remesh this. Blender's mad again. Let's see. I'm actually not sure why this time. I just told it to take something that... Oh, God. That's way better. Bottom. There we go. You know what? This is very dumb. It's a waste of time. I'm literally just wasting energy doing that. Unfortunate. Dex paint. X, a little bit lighter. Control X. All right. So this time, instead of messing around and using a cylinder for the belt, this time I'm going to take advantage of a plugin or an add-on. And I'm going to go to Retopo Flow, do a new at cursor. A Blender might be mad, I forgot to lower the resolution of the thing. Applies a Goblin's knack for finding and utilizing resources while also suggesting the transition away from stealing towards a more scrappy and self-sufficient lifestyle. AI generated. Not terrible. So I'm going to use this magic brush called Contours. I'm going to hold Control and draw it around here. Control, there we go. It's going to make that there. Oopsies. I got to tweak. This just makes this part really easy. Again, this is a paid plugin, so it's not the... This isn't really the use case it was meant for exactly, but it's alright. It does what I need it to. I mean, it does a lot more than just this. It's meant for retopology, but for getting a band around something really fast that is exactly contoured to the thing, it's also very handy for that. Very, very handy. That's fine. You can just exit. You can apply these. Select the belt. Mesh. There we go. Solidify. I'm going to bring it out just a bit like a belt. Ta-da! I'm going to grab the bottom faces here. Actually, let's shut solidify off. Grab all of these bottom edges. I'm going to grab them in the Z direction and then scale them up. Scale the whole thing just a bit. Let's go origin to geometry, scale it down a bit. And then from here we can fill it out. AI is interesting. Yes, interesting is a good word to describe it. I think unfortunately AI is tremendously unethical right now. It'll be interesting to see what it can become when it's treated ethically. The training, I mean. In principle, I don't have any issue with AI. I just have issues with it being trained unethically. I.e. stealing people's art. Or, well, not just art. Like anything proprietary. They just yoink it. And they're like, cool. Free stuff. Just no fun. No fun for the people who worked really, really hard to get good at what they're doing. Goes to most creative industries. Video editing is one of them. You know what I mean. Okay, this is all over the place now. I'm going to go here. I'm going to symmetrize it. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to symmetrize from -x, which is this guy here, to x. Boink. There we go. Now it's exactly the same. Pull it back in here. Not worried actually about it intersecting the body because the thickness will pull it out. So it might actually be better if I do intersect the body a little bit. Alright, let's see. Yes, not bad. Scale it down. Go to edge data so that we can keep our edges a little bit thick. A little bit thick. Push it back in a bit because I'm going to need to add holes and stuff to it. Okay, Alt H. These horrid little bottom things. Here, 3. I'm just going to inflate this tiniest little bit. Am I happy with these as they are? Can I just grab this tiniest bit here? Actually, let's just inflate. Ah, perfect. Okay. Let's grab this guy. Control X to fill it. Alt Q to switch. Grab this guy. Control X to fill it. So this one I'm probably going to have to redo. This band. Because right now he doesn't have any shirts or anything. I'm going to actually... I may do this asymmetrically, so I'm going to go into... Wow, my voice just totally changed timbre. Goodness. I'm going to go here, origin to geometry. Maybe not quite that big. Scale a little bit. Let's do this here. Mirror, X global. Scooch it over. Remember, I'm thinking about that silhouette. Did I apply this solidify already? No. Okay. What I think I want to do actually is go into edit mode, shrink this one, this edge loop. We'll also grab this edge loop here. Do we need to sharpen it? Let's try this one. Just gonna grab this edge loop, I'm gonna sharpen it just a smidge. Okay, good. Good, good, good. I like that. All right. Let's check our silhouette. Starting to get more interesting. Notice band shapes are breaking up the overall shapes of the silhouette. Same thing with this. So it's starting to look a little bit more interesting. So here, what's going on? Rotate it. Just want to scooch this into a more interesting position. How are we going to attach that? It's not just going to be hovering there. It's something I got to think about. Also, I'm not sure I totally love the kind of curve there. Already applied the subdivision. I can remodel it, but... Dagon, bandolier, helmet, a belt. Got a belt. Let's just very quickly do this. Nope. Go here. Grab this face. Control I, delete the other faces. Add modifier, solidify. I'm just doing this so that I can get edge control on it. But yay. Control 3. Go here, edge data. This just lets me get a very particular kind of shape. And then I can grab the... apply the solidify. Then I can sharpen the edges here. Control E, Shift E rather. Just do this for all. Shift E. There we go. Actually, I'll drop the sharpness on these, so Shift E and then drag the other way. There we go. If I'm not happy with how... Actually, let's just do this. Unsharpen it entirely. Click. So how do I get this to do what I want? Yeah, it's pretty much fine. It's way too dark. There we go. Okay. Let's get a rendered perspective and see what we see. I think I'm going to change the design of this. I'm going to decide on what kind of clothes he's going to wear. Let's see. Thinking, using my brain. Okay. Is armor important? No, not really. I think it would just be fun to do. Heck. I'm just gonna smooth that out a little bit. Same thing here. Bring it down a bit. Some basic folds in there. I actually don't like those last ones at all, so I'm going to smooth them out. That one's fine. Do I need that one at all? I really don't think I do. Maybe a smidge, just a tiniest little bit. I'm doing good, thanks. Thank you. I'm trying. Like I said, I'm extremely rusty. I'm really not convinced with the hands. I feel like the fingers need to be much fatter. So I'm just gonna go over to them really quick and make them a little bit fatter. Not too much though, because they're gonna fight with each other if I do that. But certainly a little. Okay, feels better already. Just giving them a little more meat. A little more meaty fingies. How do we want to attach this? Let's do something very simple. Go to cylinder. Gonna grab this face, Control I, delete the other faces. Add modifier, solidify. Something like that. Maybe a bit thicker. RY90, RZ90. Yes, I call it Z. Alright. So why did I make a cylinder and then delete all the faces except one? The answer is because the solidify modifier gives you access to edge data, which you can control here. And when you're doing 3D sculpting, you kind of don't really want super hard edges. In fact, I'm not sure why the... Here we go. What I'm about to say here. You want a nice fall off, because when you bake your maps down, it's going to catch better than your normal map. If it's super sharp, like super sharp, it's not going to look very good. I don't even think my plan is to bake this down anywhere at all. I'm just trying to get into the habit of working that way. That way I don't have to think about it in the future. All right. Oops. I'd like for this to be... Let's, I'm going to isolate these. So I'm going to select them all and hit /. Is that good enough? Yeah, I think that's good enough. Mesh. X. Interesting. Let's go back here. Actually, let's pick this color. Control X. Okay, a bit lighter. Control X. There we go. And do the same thing here. I keep hitting the wrong friggin' button. Control X, not Control Z. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna delete that. I know I need to redo it anyway, so it's not a big deal. These can all be joined together. Actually, this and this can be joined together. So I want to scooch this down. Turn it this way a bit. Such that this is actually connected there. Alright. Not quite ready to tackle the boots yet. I'll get there though. What I will do, however, is just pull them out a little bit in the front. And push them in a little bit in the back. Sculpt mode for making broad changes is great with the grab brush because it's way faster than doing this in edit mode and moving, you know, a vertex at a time, which I could do. But in sculpt mode, it's just going to grab a whole section of them and move them for you, which is really, really good sometimes. Use my inflate brush here. My grab brush. Catch it out. Sorry, it's pushing the outside. I don't really mind that much. Alright. It's not imperative that these are exact. One thing I might do though is grab all of these faces and just scale them in a bit because they feel really big. That feels much better. That feels much, much better. Actually do. I'm just gonna go here, select this, shift D to duplicate it, D to separate the selection. GZZ. Oh. G this way. Alt H to unhide things. Origin to geometry. I'm gonna stretch it this way, scale it, stretch it this way. Can you DM me in Discord? Sure, you can just ping me in the regular chat. Or DM me, it doesn't matter. Just behave yourself. Alright, let's see. Arms are in the way. Hide. Here we go. Let's isolate these. Ooh, excuse me. All right. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Gnarly tricep. Really don't need to be that pronounced in the elbow. Say bone comes through here. Should probably be present. Kind of what happens there. Mellow out the tricep also just a bit. Part of what's bothering me with these hands is that they're not rotated correctly. Let's go into edit mode. Grab these, delete faces. Grab this. I think it needs to spin, yeah, that way. Okay, that feels better. Better. Oh, I like that idea. Those are good references. Thanks, A1. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Make a vest with some patches on it. Let's see. First of all, let's put the mirror back on this guy. Mirror across the body. Is that okay? I'm gonna save. I'm just gonna check my viewport. Costuming's hard. It's hard. Reference is important, that's true. In fact, I think what I might do is I may come back to the Goblin a little later on. But let's just, I'm just gonna do a quick little recap here. It's just for the sake of it's about 4 heads tall. Just gonna do Alt D so it doesn't make more geometry. Yep, about 4 heads tall or so, which is I think pretty good proportion for a gobbo. Just delete these. I think in terms of, let's hide that. I'm probably gonna rebuild that. I feel like he's I'll show you what I feel like he's doing right now. I feel like he needs to be like he was slouching. So I'm gonna pull this check his posture in the back. Let's grab the arms and hands. That's better already. Now he looks like he's standing instead of slouching. Okay. Looks like he's standing, that's fine. Just a chromium process on here. I have no idea what my brain thinks that, like, it needs to be that pronounced. It really does not. Let's go to this thing. I'm gonna give it a little more thickness. Same with this though, just the other side, a little deeper. There we go. All right, let's take stock. Shade smooth. Shade smooth, shade smooth, shade smooth, shade smooth, shade smooth, shade smooth. Let's change the mat cap here. That's almost flat colors. Crazy. So glossy. What about arm warmers? Yeah, I think the plan is I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up here. But what I'll do is I'll go and look at some Goblin reference. Maybe put a sketch or two together of what I want to do. I'm happy with the boots. My biggest issue is knowing what to put in what to place. I need to build up like my artistic sense. Yeah, character design is like, it's hard. But this fella's rad. Thanks. It's a good project to come back and like try to get back into it with for sure. Yeah, having a lot of fun. But yeah, so I think what I'll do is I'll probably just check out some reference and Pinterest or whatever and see what I can find, and then yeah, see if we can replicate that next stream. I should be streaming again on Thursday, so the regular stream schedule should be coming back Monday and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So we will be back then. I'll be back Thursday morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I will let everybody know ahead of time should anything change. But yeah, I think we made some pretty good progress today. Got the body blocked out, some very basic props kind of blocked in. Let's just go back to studio here. That one's so shiny. Matte. No. Yeah, we got it blocked in a little bit. I think I'm probably going to simplify the anatomy a little bit next. But we'll see. Thank you too. Thank you to everybody who came to hang out in the chat. It's always awesome to hang out with people, and yeah, it's so good to have people to chat with when you're doing creative things, because it just helps you bounce your mind off of, you know, bounce ideas off of each other and help each other out when you have questions, that kind of stuff. But yep. My pleasure, Cosmic Afro. Thanks for coming by. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. I will see you this coming Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And until then, deuces.